for you with some drum and bass too. You know he slices, he dashes, he does it twice as nice. Cooking with respect and a little bit of spice.
Hey neighbors, how y'all doing today? Well, I hope you enjoyed my last episode with the chicken stir fry. Let me know what you thought of it if you went ahead and made that. Like I said in the last episode, we are going to be working with a little bit of duck. Daffy, Gennard, Donald, or whatever you want to call it. It is a wonderful, wonderful item to cook. What I'll be showing you today is how to break down a duck. Here's our lucky duck. Break it down. We're going to be using the fat to render down our leg and thigh here. Alright? So, weapon of choice would definitely be your butcher's knife. Shazam. Butcher knife de butcher. So what I'm going to do first is going ahead and I'm going to trim the fat off. Okay? I've taken out all the insides of it. This is part of the neck here and our tail. So what I'm going to do is with my butcher's knife is I'm just going to go ahead and trim this fat right here. Okay, and then I have a pan set off to the side. Now best way to take off the legs is kind of get in with your fingers here and feel around. You know, there's separation in here. Alright, so what you're doing is you're kind of separating the legs from the fat. Alright, and that's going to help you dig your knife down into there. So, you take your knife, you score it along the edge here, okay? It opens that up. So there you have your leg and thigh exposed in here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, you don't want to cut too much because you want to leave some of this fat up here for the breast. Okay. So now that I have my leg and thighs exposed, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to flip the duck. Feel the joints right here, okay? Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring them out. Alright, you should hear a pop. That pop is the thigh bone coming out of the hips or joint area. Alright, that makes it easy to take off the legs and thigh. Put the duck on its side. It's a lot more easier to work with. With my knife, I'm going to go back kind of under the wing here, cut as close to the body as I can, and you're going to try and follow that all the way through the bone here. Okay, now with that dislocation that we just did, it makes it easy to cut right off. Alright? So we're going to trim this fat up in just a minute, but here you go, there's your first leg and thigh combo, okay? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this fat, trim it, throw it in my pan on the side, and go ahead and repeat these steps on the other side. Go ahead and bring your knife back as far as you can. Cut down along the bone. Bam, there you go. Leg and thigh number 2. Like I said, we need as much fat as possible so that when we render the fat, which is rendering is separating the fats from the proteins, or not necessarily from the proteins, but separating the fat from whatever it is you're rendering. Bone here I'm working with. There we go. Okay, throwing this into my pan. Okay, and we want to kind of get these out of the way so it'll just make our job a little bit easier. So to get the wing out of the way, you want to kind of feel around, kind of like I did with the leg and thigh bone. You're kind of popping that wing out, right? Now, pop and lock it, you know what I'm saying, yo? Pop and lock. There we go. you rub your hand along the middle here, you feel the breastbone, okay? Now this is your guiding point to cut along the breast. We're going to be slicing it as close to the bone as possible. Okay, always use your fingers, okay? Because that way you know if you're feeling around here, I'm down all the way to the bone now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring your knife down. Now in the front here you have the wishbone, okay? Now with the wishbone, you're bringing your knife down, and now you're just going to follow the wishbone, cutting down. Alright, so here we are. So now, with my knife, I'm slowly taking apart the breast from the duck. And you just want to use the tip of your knife and lightly just glide, especially if you, and it definitely helps if you have a sharp knife, just glide your knife across. Glide it. Okay, like you're on Disney on Ice, just glide. Okay? Okay, so here is our first breast. It looks a little gross, so we're going to clean it up a little bit. But not until I do to the next breast. Alright, there we go. So it's released from the wishbone, and now like I was doing before, just with the tip of your knife, just glide along the carcass of this dead duck. So we got our breasts, legs and thighs, and our wings. Now for these duck breasts, I'm going to go ahead and kind of trim them up, make them look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of follow the fat and get whatever excess we have, trim that off, and that way it'll look like a nice manicured breast. Alright, there we go. Much better looking, a lot cleaner. Here we are. We have our duck, breasts, wings, leg and thigh combo here. Alright, now with the excess, like I said, I went ahead and put it in the pot. Now we're going to render this down. So I'm going to put it on a very low heat and wait for all of this fat to melt, and I'll show you what happens.